Hello everybody. So this is a start on something called some sort of video editing or picture cleanup or something along those lines. And a couple of people have asked me how I created this image, especially since those who came with me went to the session and know that the image started off looking like that. So it started off with two lights behind the model, backlighting her, giving her a little bit of rim light. So how did we get from there to there? So that's what I'll do, is I'll walk you through this process. So I'll hit reset. So this is our starting point. I'll just turn on the cropping tool, bring it down a little bit, give her some of that black space above her, but keep some of it. The dress below her is still fine. We could chop that off and it would all be black, so we'll just keep that. So the first thing I'll do is mask this little area with a brush, and I'll just make that a little bit bigger and give it a dab here, and then hit the shift key and come to this end, and so that just gives us a swath of light over there. And then what I'll do is I'll turn that a little bit brighter, increase the clarity a little bit, maybe a little bit more texture, and I'm going to give this a little bit of a color, maybe something like a little bit red. Okay, then we want to address her face, and I'll just put a radial filter over here, and I'm still keeping the same settings that I had before. I could change those, but that actually didn't look too bad, so that's great. And then I'll just create another radial filter up here, and I'll just kind of do something along those lines and give that a bit of a blue tinge and make it a little bit brighter. Really kind of just blue. There we go, something like that. Maybe duplicate this. Whoops, wrong place. Duplicate mask 1. That's a little bit too bright. Just put that over here. So I'm just kind of just playing with that. It's giving us a little bit too much on her face. I'll just decrease that a little bit. And I am trying to get the hair a little bit included in this, so that way the light looks like it's lighting up her hair. And I'm getting a bit of the face, but that's okay. Alright, so now let's do something similar with a bit of a red on the other side. Radial filter. Right over there. Make that super bright and make that quite red. Maybe something like that. Give it a little bit more of a red. Yeah, there we go. And let's duplicate this. And get that down here somewhere. Rotate that a little bit, and yeah, so the light looks like it's coming from the other side, and that's about it. I'll increase the overall. Whoops, I don't want to be there. I want to be on my overall. Let's see, I'm in the basic area here. The whole thing is getting brighter, and I don't want that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to create another circle radial filter right around here somewhere. And I just want that dress to be a little bit more punchy, something along those lines. That's kind of not too bad. And that should be pretty good. Let's see. And where was my original mask? There's that one. That one's still looking a little bit dark. Let me bump up the clarity, did texture. I'm going to go whites, give that a little bit more. There we go, something along those lines. Now I'm seeing the face is probably a little bit too bright now, so let me bring that down a bit. And just bring down the highlights. Oops, not too much there. Yeah, so overall, maybe I'll just pump up the face a whole bunch and bring down the highlights on the actual image. There, something like that. It's a little bit better. Okay, so that gives me something I can work with. Maybe bring that a little smaller, just focus it on the side of the face that's the darkest. and something along those lines, and close. Go to the overall image and maybe reduce some of the texture and the contrast. Actually, I don't mind the contrast. Sorry, I'm saying clarity. I'm doing clarity, and give the picture a little bit of haze because that's typical of stage type of situation. And okay, so I've pretty much reconstructed this. Let me just go back to my original done. So that's what I had before. That's what I have now. So I didn't create it exactly the same way, but it gives you an overall idea. It certainly is different from the starting point. And so that's kind of before and after as I'm going along. So hopefully that helped and gave you a little bit of a sense of what was going on, and I will just stop the recording.